Hello everyone, welcome. This is the Voice of Eve. Our topic today is critical MDGs for the women folk. Please stay tuned with us, we'll soon be back. It would appear that some critical MDGs are just waiting for women in governance. Women come on board for these MDGs. Such MDGs like maternal health, infant mortality, universal basic education are waiting for women in governance with the magic bullet to effect the implementation. It is important that all aspiring political aspirants, ladies, you should have a wonderful sense of mission to implement these MDGs. But what are these MDGs? Why are they so important? Please join me as we hear from the experts. I am Dr. Violet Arene. Hello everyone, welcome back. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is the Voice of Eve. Our topic today is critical MDGs for the women folk. There are some critical MDGs that apparently need the urgent attention of women, and we want to sensitize them. We are privileged to have with us in the studio today an expert, a policy analyst, a financial consultant, Sir Oji Udemezwe, who is in a position to tell us about these critical MDGs and to sensitize them for our women folk, especially the political aspirants. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
It's a pleasure. Thank God you have, the time for us today to come.
It's my pleasure.
Well, this is a task we want you to do for us.
Thank you.
We want you to let us know about these critical MDGs. What are they, and what is their origin? And also, why do you think they are waiting for women?
Thank you very much. MDG basically means Millennium Development Goals. You know, the world entered a new millennium in the year 20,000. And one of the critical activities or events that marked that year was the meeting that 189 member countries of UN had sometime in September 2000, where they sanctioned what we call the Millennium Declaration. And the whole countries in the world joined together their voices and their actions in saying we want to fight extreme poverty and socio-cultural issues around many developing or poor countries. So they came up with an action or a long-term development plan that will help reduce extreme poverty or absolute poverty around the globe and solve these issues. And they grouped them into 8. That's how we came about MDGs. They grouped the targets or the goals in driving this achievement into 8. And those are the 8 Millennium Development Goals. The first one is to eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. You know, the idea is that a lot of people, more than 3 billion people, even then and up to now, wake up in the morning without having anything to eat. Many families survive on less than $2 a day. That's how you try to define extreme poverty and hunger. People don't have anything to eat. And if they eventually find something to eat, you can be sure that it's not nutritious. It has no health value. Number 2 is to achieve universal basic education, to ensure that our children, at the age of primary education, are able to go through schools. They are not nomads moving around. They are not loitering the streets, or they are not hawking goods on the road and all that. So we want to be able to send our children to at least basic education. That's why we have primary education in Nigeria free today. Then number 3 is to promote gender equality and empower women. This appears to be a very critical target or goal of MDG, because women, prior to then and even up to now to some extent, are heavily deprived. Women are not given their pride of place in nation building and even in community issues. So it was a major target set then that women should be encouraged They should be involved in communal issues, in nation building, and even economic development issues. So the world sought to empower, to promote gender equality and empower women. Then the next goal, the MDG 4, is to reduce child mortality or infant mortality, a situation whereby most young children die before, or many young children die before the age of 5, either of malaria or measles or HIV or even hunger. So that's the target for the MDG 4. The MDG 5 is to improve maternal health. You know, women suffer a lot. And I'm going to come to why this is critical for women to come in and solve this problem. Women suffer a lot, maybe during childbearing period. And many of them die either carelessly or because they don't have access to proper medical care. So it concerns the whole nations of the world to see that women do not continue to die carelessly during the maternity time of their lives. So the whole world sought to improve maternal health. Then, of course, the next MDG was to combat HIV/AIDS, malaria, and other diseases. You find that that time, and even up to now, HIV used to be a major concern, and it's still a major concern to the international community. How to reduce that? And if you look at it critically, even scientifically, you find that women are more predisposed to HIV.
That's what I learned now.
Yes, exactly.
A recent report.
Even from scientific,
recent report.
They are predisposed to HIV more than men.
Yes.
And of course, you know, looking at the poverty we're talking about in most countries, men use their means to put women even at more risk, whether they are looking for a job or they are looking for food to eat. Even most men who want to have a relationship with women carelessly, just to be able to support them. Yes. So that puts women in at more risk of HIV. And in malaria, looking at malaria, children die a lot of malaria today, even adults. So that MDG goal, 7. 6, sought to, combat malaria, even polio, thanks to Rotary International. So that's MDG 6. Okay. The MDG 7 is to, ensure environmental sustainability. We're looking at how do we make our environment better? How do we ensure that the air we breathe is clean? How do we ensure that when we go to get water, we're going to get clean water to drink? How do we ensure that the whole environment where we do business is maintained, is not destroyed, that the ozone layer is not depleted, that companies who do business in the environment, whether they are oil and gas companies or whether they are banks, that they're able to put something back in the environment to ensure that we sustain the environment.
Yes.
And then finally, to develop partnerships for economic development.
Wonderful.
So these are 8 MDGs, but I want to narrow down to 6 that are critical for women. If you look at the first 6 MDGs, you find that they have direct impact on children and women. And you know that anything that involves children also involves women.
Yes.
Because women are the people that nurture children. Yes. So the 6 MDGs, that means that the whole world sat and agreed that women and children all over the world were deprived. And everybody is working together to see how to resolve that. And I want to say that maybe women need to be called in to begin to look at these issues themselves.
What makes you think the women coming in? What is it in them? And what are your expectations from them that make you think that they can make the difference?
I always maintain this position anywhere I go, that women are builders. Women are very smart. Women multitask. Women, are caregivers. They are very emotional. And they are very empathic. They're able to take care of things that even men cannot take care of. So they know how to, they are good managers of resources, of human resources. Because all of us here, all of us, in this country, we are at some point in time in our lives taken care of by a woman. At that point, nobody could touch us.
Thank you
so
very
with that,
much.
I believe women have what it takes to address issues, that have to do with economic development of countries. More especially issues that deal with them directly and their children. You find that in Nigeria today, talking about maternal health, the statistics we have today shows that about 800 women out of 100,000 die of maternal-related issues. That may appear to be a fairly good record, that's less than 1%, but it's still huge when these deaths are preventable.
Thank you.
Okay.
These deaths are preventable.
They are.
And does it please us then to know that we are comparing with some poorer nations in the world enjoying the same level of indices.
In these indices, Nigeria ranks very low.
Very low.
Amongst many nations. And that's quite an irony, because Nigeria is a very rich and wealthy nation.
Okay.
So we shouldn't have it this bad.
We should not have it this bad.
Yeah.
So now you're a man. You come out here because you know that many women are preparing to come into politics.
Yeah.
Tell us, what is your message to the women coming into politics today, hoping to contest and win political positions in the governance regarding the MDGs? What would you tell them now?
I would.
This is your chance to tell them.
On a very light note, I would say that it appears men have been left, on the driving seat of these MDGs in the past 14 years. And it appears we're not making much progress. So I think, I would want to maybe humorously say that maybe these goals are waiting for women to drive them. Because women are better connected to these issues, and they may be better able to resolve them, as long as they don't constitute obstacle to themselves. Once women come in and they are focused on ethical and transformational leadership, and they understand these issues better, I believe they can solve these problems faster than men have tried to do them in 14 years now.
Do you know, I can tell you, God bless you.
Amen. Thank you very much.
So that women, contestants, aspirants, you have had a man give you a philosophy, an ideology, a manifesto, a mission, a sense of mission. I agree with you, sir, that all women aspirants should come in with a fiery sense of mission.
A sense of purpose.
Especially a sense of purpose and mission focused on the MDGs. If we love our nation and our children. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
God bless you.
Amen.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is the Voice of Eve. Our topic today is critical MDGs for the women folk. We are privileged to have with us in the studio today some very special discussants to discuss some of the issues. The problem is we have these critical MDGs, especially for the attention of women. Do they know them? What are we going to do now? Especially with these women who are coming on board. What we are doing is sensitize them about these critical MDGs. Please, let us have a parley with these experts on the subject. I have with me here Chief Matron Ikbo Gertrude. You are directly in the health sector.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Doctor.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
We are delighted to have you.
It's a pleasure, ma'am.
And I have next to you there, Ada Agenaude, a women's leader of note.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. And I have Amaka Chibeze, an educationist and interested in the MDGs. You are welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now, I will start with you, Ada. What are these critical MDGs for the attention of the women folk? And are you satisfied with the level of achievement of the goals in these MDGs?
Thank you for this question. We are talking about development.
Yes.
And in developing any nation, all MDGs are important.
Yes.
That was why the countries of the world came up with the MDGs in the first place. However, we have this saying that health is wealth. That is why we feel that among the critical MDGs, the health-related MDGs are number one. We talk about maternal health, child health, eradication of HIV and AIDS, malaria, and then of course, if we want fresh ideas on how to attain these MDGs, governance, leadership, decision-making has to change. And how do you change? We bring in women. So MDG number 3 is equally very important.
Thank you very much.
So it would appear, as everyone seems to agree, these MDGs are waiting for women to come on board. Is that what you think too, Amaka?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. The MDG goals, in fact, we women are meant to pioneer it.
Yes.
I didn't mean from the onset that they allowed women to come in. You know, it's just a year to go on. I didn't mean they allowed women to come in. This team would have achieved a lot. So with the basic education in primary school, if parents allow the girls to enroll in the school, once they're educated, they'll be able to know who they are, what they want, and where they're going to. They will be able to identify their area of socialization.
Yes. Do you see a lot of problems in the health sector because of poor implementation of maternal health, MDG?
I'm a chief matron, I'm a nurse. I had my initial training in England, then finished up my specialty in Teaching Hospital Lagos as a theatre nurse.
Yes.
I've seen quite a lot in Nigeria that they don't lay much emphasis on health in this country. The money is there, the oil boom, everything, the whole world are looking on Nigeria being a very rich country. It seems as if not much emphasis are laid on health. Because I, being a woman, can see the way the women are suffering through childbirth.
Thank you. Let's make it specific.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you lose many women having birth, or tell us, do you have any statistics?
Yes, Doctor, we do. There's a lot of women that have gone through childbirth, even the cesarean section. It's pathetic in this country because it's not applicable to the other world, Western world.
Yes.
Because here at CRP, they don't lay more emphasis on health.
So you lose them?
We lose them, and women are not really involved in the management of the hospitals.
Oh.
Particularly, I'm coming to another angle, but we're talking of the nurses.
Yes.
Most of us have a first and second degree. So I don't know what stops a nurse being the chief medical director of a hospital or the minister for health. Then there'll be more emphasis laid on health. So we can take care of the women and the infants rates.
The purpose of our being here is to sensitize these issues. What is coming on here, Ada, is that if we have MDGs, critically connected to women, for goodness sake, should be connected with implementation. Is that what you... Exactly. They should be high up enough. Yes. And so what is the advice you give to the political aspirants now?
First and foremost, the political aspirants have to inform themselves. They have to be very knowledgeable. And some states in Nigeria have shown that if you govern using the MDG as your guide, you will not go wrong.
Thank you.
Yes. So I would like the female aspirants to use the MDGs as their guide. The MDGs should reflect in their manifestos. And as you said in the intro, their philosophy. And in their campaigns, they should emphasize, because the MDGs have been itemized and simplified. So you can very easily, you don't need to go very far to bring up your manifesto, your philosophy, and tell people what you want to do. And as a woman, it's advised that they focus mainly, every MDG is important, like I said initially. But as women, it's important that they focus on the MDGs where we feel that when a woman is in the decision-making saddle, she will be better able to take decisions on those MDGs.
God bless you.
Effective, impactful decisions.
Effective, impactful decisions. Amaka, say it your own way.
What I would like to say as
to the aspirants,
like what she said, that they should be knowledgeable enough with these MDG goals. They should have it in their palm so that they'll be able to, as they're going out to campaign, they use it as their team of their title to campaign.
Yes.
You know, because they are going to the grassroots. Because this MDG goes, grassroots, they don't know about it.
That is it.
They don't know about it. What we need is awareness. If any women that is aspiring for any position in this country should use this MDG goals to come up.
Yes.
Because from 1 to 2, 1 to 6 is talking about women. If you educate a gay child, she will know what she wants. She will not want to marry. She will not want to resist temptation that will detriment to his health. You know, she'll be able to empower herself, make ends meet. So I would like the women aspirants to have these MDG goals at their tips.
Thank you very much. And actually, talking about it, we do not need, this is my own personal opinion, we don't need to go very far to appropriate the right ideology and philosophy for ruling this nation. The MDGs are an encapsulated, crystallized, necessary goals, that should undergird our developmental efforts. Ada, I want to ask you, you have a very key women's rights and women's issues organization. What is GADA doing about educating women on MDGs?
GADA has been on for 20 years now. GADA,
for the information, for
yes,
the sake of viewers,
yes,
GADA is
yes.
Gender and Action Development.
Yes, Gender
and Development Action.
GADA.
Yeah, GADA.
It was started in the year 1994 by 3 women. And at that time, if you remember, we were preparing for Beijing.
Yes.
Beijing came in 1995. So these 3 women felt that going there to Beijing, women in Nigeria needed to be represented by a group that is not too much to the left or too much to the right. Yes. If you remember, it was a military regime. And from there, our philosophy has been to speak for the voiceless.
Thank you.
Yes, to touch the women at the grassroots. And then also, as we are touching the women at the grassroots, we also want to empower the women who will take over decision-making in this country so that governance will benefit women at the grassroots. For that reason, we are into the economic empowerment of women, we're into the political empowerment and political education of women, we are into programming on HIV and AIDS, that is women's health generally, maternal health, HIV and AIDS. We are into, you name it.
Name it.
Anything that will uplift women, that will empower women, and above all, we advocate gender equality very vigorously.
You have really crunched it. These MDGs are waiting for you, some of you who will decide to jump in. They are waiting for your magic bullets. Women, thank God for the MDGs. They constitute your manifestos and your philosophies and your ideologies. They are there. And I wish every woman who adopts an MDG or the MDGs as a manifesto the greatest and fastest success. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, viewers, you have had it all. The critical MDGs, especially the first 6, are waiting for the women folk to come on board with your magic bullets to effect the implementation. You do not need to go far to find your manifesto or philosophies. You have them. Once you zero in on these MDGs, you have it. Thank you for watching. God bless you.